The Great War is coming in Game of Thrones, and the Season 7 trailer gave us a preview of some of the epic battles and political showdowns we can expect this year. The biggest fight showcased is a clash between Daenerys' Dothraki and Unsullied army with Queen Cersei's Lannister forces. Even Drogon gets into the fight in the coolest moment of the trailer. There seem to be two elements at play in this massive battle. First, the showdown between the Dothraki and Lannister army in an open field, and second, the Unsullied overtaking a Lannister keep. While there's a chance this keep is King's Landing, it's more likely that it's the Lannister home of Casterly Rock. We see the Lannister sigil and family crest of the lion over an archway that the Unsullied charged through. There's a small chance Cersei would have replaced the Baratheon sigils across King's Landing by the time Season 7 begins, but it's more likely that this is a smaller attack targeted at Casterly Rock versus being a full-fledged assault on King's Landing. Adding to this theory, a later scene shows Tyrion knocking over a Lannister marker, seemingly signifying that this location has been defeated. The marker is sitting over a word that begins with CA, which we think stands for Casterly Rock. If our theory is true, this would be the first time Game of Thrones shows the much-discussed seat of House Lannister. The Targaryen vs. Lannister battle is the biggest fight in the trailer, but Cersei's voiceover at the beginning mentions enemies all around her. The enemies to the east are clearly Daenerys and her Unsullied Dothraki army, and a map shows Duskendale, a port near Dragonstone, where we know Dany will take up residence. That seems to hint that she'll touch down in Duskendale when she arrives in Westeros at long last. We actually see Daenerys' first arrival in Westeros in this trailer, and see her taking over Dragonstone. Though Stannis ruled Dragonstone since Robert Baratheon took over Westeros many years ago, Dragonstone is historically the original seat of House Targaryen, so it's fitting that Dany would head here first. But she might end up having some help from someone familiar with that keep. Melisandre, who was sent away from the north by Jon Snow at the end of Season 6, seems to be looking over Dragonstone in this trailer. Though it's hard to tell who exactly she's looking at walk below her, it seems likely the Red Priestess will be crossing paths with Daenerys Targaryen at some point in Season 7. The enemies to the west that Cersei mentions are Euron and his fleet, as the Iron Islands are west of Westeros. Several shots of Theon in the midst of a fiery, dark battle seem to be part of a sea battle, potentially with Euron's men. Then there's the enemies to the south. We only see a sword being sharpened, but we can presume that's referencing the threat of Dorne and the Sand Snakes. It seems like Yara Greyjoy will be forging a connection with Ellaria Sand based on the shot of the two of them about to kiss. There better not be poison involved there. As for the enemies to the north, that threat is notably absent from this trailer. Despite the Night King and White Walkers being a primary focus of Season 7's marketing, we don't see any of these enemies in this trailer. However, we do see Jon Snow and Tormund Giantsbane running from something that could be the Night King's forces. Davos Seaworth has the best line of the trailer when he says, "If we don't put aside our enmities and band together, we will die, and then it doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne." Though it's unclear who he's talking to, this would be the first season Daenerys feasibly could even hear the news that there's a terrible supernatural threat to the north. Hopefully he's telling her. That doesn't mean everyone will be forgetting their smaller scale problems, though. Littlefinger continues to encourage Sansa that she should be Queen of the North over Jon, and Jon does physically confront Peter Baelish later in the trailer. Arya Stark has traveled north after killing Walder Frey and the twins, and we see her venturing on her own in snowier territory. We also get a shot of a grayscale-ridden arm that seems to be a look at Jorah Mormont, Grey Worm and Missandei getting pretty intimate, and an intimidating shot of the mountain in new armor. That's everything we found in the full trailer for Game of Thrones Season 7. Catch anything we missed? Make sure to let us know in the comments. And for more on Game of Thrones, make sure to check out everything we know about the Thrones spin-offs HBO has in development and why Emilia Clarke thinks the Han Solo film is, quote, scarier than Game of Thrones. And for everything north of the wall, keep it here on IGN.